Hi everyone, welcome to a new lecture on XHTML CSS. In this lecture we will talk about several things you can do to format your text or the content of the text. So we're going to talk about text align, margins, and padding. So the first thing I want you guys to do is open your Notepad++ and let's go to contact.html. We have the three different paragraphs. Now let's go and run this in Chrome. Okay, so this is what we have. We have a fixed paragraph, which is the first one, XHTML intro, and let's go to the CSS file and let's take the position fixed out of here. And let's go back, refresh it, and there it is. Okay, so now we have XHTML intro, XHTML overview, XHTML motivation, the three different paragraphs. Now what I'm going to show you now is how you can give margins and paddings to the content of each paragraph, okay, or each section. Now let's start with the first one, or let's use the examples here in the first one, XHTML intro paragraph. Let's go here to the CSS file. Let's take the line height out of here as well. And the first property of CSS that I want to show you to format text is text align. And let's type center. So if you run or go back to the browser and refresh, you'll see that everything inside this section or this div is centered. Okay, all the text is centered. Now we can also do is type text align left, and if we run this in Chrome, this is what we'll get. Everything is on the left. Okay, now we can also type, for example, right, save this, let's go back, refresh it, and everything is to the right. Okay, now for now let's leave this. Let's take this out and let me show you another property, which is called the margin. Now I'm going to give you a little example for using margins. So let's type margin, and let's type 20 pixels. Save this and let's run, just take this out, let's run contact.html, launch it, and there it is. What happens is that I gave 20 pixel margin around the whole div. So what it means is that the div has now 20 pixels around. The problem is that we have a fixed section here, okay? The width is in here, is 100%, but it's inside the container with the width 700 pixels. Okay, so it cannot change. Okay, it stays fixed 700 pixels. So now what happens, it seems that it's out of the way or out of the content or the container itself, but it has a margin of 20 pixels. Okay, up, the left, and down here. So let's say I want to give a margin only from the top. So what we do here is margin top, save this, and let's run this now, launch it, and there it is. Okay, only 20 pixels from the top. Let's say I want only from the bottom. So I go back here and type bottom 20 pixels. Let's refresh, and there it is. Okay, so this is how you can give margins either bottom, top, or to the left or to the right. Okay, so this is how we use margins and how you can control margins for each section or content. And now I'm going to show you how to use padding. So let's type padding 20 pixels. And let's run this in Chrome. So the padding, the difference between padding and margin is that the margin will give you a space between the div itself and his related parent element. Okay? And the padding will give a space, as you can see here, between the content inside that section or that div and the outer border. Okay, so this is, as you can see, we have now a margin. It's almost like a margin, but inside the div, from the text itself to the outer border of the div. So this is what the padding does, and as long as you put more padding into it, let's type 30 for example, refresh it, and there it is. It will grow the box because you are giving all around the text a margin, okay, or a padding. Now what about if we want only the padding from top? So to do that, you just have to do as we did with the margin. So we type padding top or bottom or left or right. Okay, and there's also another way you can use padding, which is give 1, 2, 3, or 4 different values. So each value will be the padding, or the value for the padding of the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. So the first one, if we only give one, it will be the padding for all, the same padding for all around the section. If we give 2, so let's give the second value 20 pixels. So this would be for the top, and this will be for the right. If we give 3 values, it will be for the first one for the top, the second one for the right, and the third one for the bottom. And finally, if we give one more, so we have 4 values in total, the first one will be for the top, the second would be for the right, the third one for the bottom, and the fourth one would be for the left. Okay, so let's try this, see if it works. Let's run this in Chrome, and there it is. Okay, so you can play a little bit more with this and try for yourself, and don't forget to practice, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.